Hey everybody, sorry for a midweek check-in, but I've had a bunch of questions about the technical writing stuff and specifically some technical questions about Word. So I want to go over just a few things. A lot of folks did get confused, and I understand that we get confused about things with the technical documents themselves. Some folks put all three, the description or the definition, the description, and the instructions in one document and turned it in last week. Other people even included the formal analytical report in that same document. I want to stress to you that those are four completely separate assignments. Now, they can be and probably should be related, but they are separate documents. So last week's assignment was the definition. The definition, the description, and the instructions. These are probably not going to be super long documents, but they do have to be well developed. So with a definition, we are focusing on a term or terms that are related to our overarching theme. And most of you have chosen to write about things that are related to your future career, which is absolutely 100% fine. Some folks have focused on more on something they'd like to do for a hobby or something they want to major in, things of that nature. Really doesn't matter to me what your topic is, but I do want you to successfully complete those three shorter documents. And then we'll talk more about the formal analytical report. All of these fall under the heading of technical writing, which of course is a big part of our course. So when we write definitions, it's fairly self-explanatory, but a lot of folks were confused because we're used to seeing a definition as being one little blurb in a library or in a dictionary. And even then, we're usually not even seeing it in a physical dictionary. We're seeing it on dictionary.com. But an extended definition can contain all kinds of information. And some of you chose to make a glossary of definitions, and it made sense with what you're working on. So the downside is I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you how long it has to be, but I can tell you that it needs to be a well-developed definition. This week's assignment is the description. And with a description, we typically think of something that we can see, hear, feel, taste, touch, whatever. We think of senses. We think of the five senses. Now, that's a little tricky because, of course, when we're dealing with subject matter like nursing or subject matter like what is criminal justice and all the things that you guys are writing about, we have to focus on something that needs describing. So it could be a lot of different things, but I would focus on something physical. I would focus on a piece of equipment, a piece of software, something tangible that you can describe in depth. Again, it doesn't have to be super long, but it does have to be well developed. Next week is instructions, and that one actually is probably the easiest. Maybe I should flip the order and do instructions first next semester. We'll see what happens. But instructions, of course, are a how-to. So if you are working on anything related to your career, you could describe a process within that work field, but you could also describe the process of becoming a whatever. So many of you are focusing on things like nursing or criminal justice or what's another common one? A lot of you are IT people. There's instructions that you can do for any of those. So but that is its own separate document. Each of those three documents will be ultimately revised and included in the final portfolio. And you may or may not be able to use them in your formal analytical report, which is a longer document. It's worth like 200 points. So it's a long document. It is a major project, and it is going to be focused on an issue, on a potential problem, or something that you can research and document. That requires much more research than these shorter ones, but even the shorter ones typically require some research, for, if for nothing else, finding visuals that you want to use. So the research has to be documented, just like it would if we were writing a research paper in a regular English class. You have to document those sources. So we need APA formatting for the document itself. I'm going to remind you where to find the right template. One of the most frustrating things, I think, in grading multiple assignments is when you know you've said the same thing on more than one assignment, it starts to make you cringe because you're like, I know I told you this already. So I'm going to show everybody where to find that current template. So it'll have a cover page and it will have reference pages. Every single one of them will have an APA cover page and an APA reference page. What goes in between there, it's going to be largely dependent on what you are covering. Now, in last week's video, I did a little bit more demonstration in I guess the one that I just posted on Monday. I did a little more demonstration about how to use the headings and subheadings. So if you have not viewed that, please do. I know when I looked this morning, I think only 6 people had watched it so far, which makes me want to cry. I'm not crying, I'm about to sneeze. But those visuals need to be captioned, and that was a big thing that was missing. And I did show that, but I didn't show it very well. So I've already posted one video for you that is a link to a YouTube video, an embedded YouTube video, but I also want to show you firsthand kind of how to do that. The other thing I want to show you, like I said, is where to go to get the current information about APA, not only for the template, but also for any sources that you need to cite, all those things. Okay, so I'm going to share 2 screens. This will look familiar because we already worked on this on Monday, if you've watched that video first. But this is a link to the library's homepage, and you can type in www.lssc.edu/library, and this will take you directly to this page. But if you have not saved this as a favorite on your own computer, well, shame on you, because you should be. So we're going to click on the libraries button. And the very first yellow button is the Citation Center. This is where you have sections on MLA and APA and other citation styles. This is the main little shortened guide for the for the APA 7th edition. This is where you would go to figure out how to create works cited entries, references page entries. My English brain always wants to default to MLA. But APA on the reference page, what is it going to look like? It's a bibliography. They're all going to be in alphabetical order. They're all going to be plain double spaced with a hanging indent. There's some rules that are true for both MLA and APA. But you have to look up how to cite websites. You have to look up how to cite sources that you are finding. If you're using the library for research, those citations are provided for you, but you have to go all the way into the source to get that citation. So I'm going to show you that really quick as well. But this guide will walk you through how to cite sources. This is the APA student sample paper template. This is the one I want you to use for all of our documents. It has the cover page. It has the correct information in the header, which is only a page number. It has the references page. And it also talks about what to do. It's got samples for visuals. It's got samples for lists. It's got everything. So please, 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 if you have not done it already, please download this and save it on your computer and use it fresh every time you have an APA paper to write. I'm going to go back to the library website for a moment, and I didn't went too far, and take a look at the search tools. So Primo Search is searching everything. if you know you want to search the databases, you can use that. And then you also have a search for the library's website. So if you needed something that you don't know where to find on here, like the APA template, you can probably type it in here and find that information. But I'm going to go to Primo Search, and I'm going to search for something that a lot of the criminal justice folks were writing about, because it's kind of fun for me, because I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts. So manslaughter, I find 6,000 results. Not all of these are going to be available directly online. So I'm going to click on available online only, because I want to make it shorter. That took, well, it didn't take me down to anything, but anyway. I could determine that I only want to look at articles, or I only want to look at videos. I can narrow it down a little bit by that. Articles, of course, is the biggest pile. That's mostly what we're going to find. So let's put that. Let's also say I don't want anything that goes all the way back to 1900. Let's say I want to limit this to just, let's do 2000 to 2023. There. Oh, it's a little too narrow of a window. Okay. So let's click that, and let's apply the filters. So when I do that, I'm down to 4,000 results. It's still an awful lot, but it's okay. Let's put and United States. I don't know that this is going to do anything, but I see a lot of things about Asia and Africa. These are not going to help me. I also don't really need news articles about people convicted of manslaughter. But that helped a little bit. We're down to 1,500, and these look a little bit more, this is not relevant, but these look a little bit more relevant perhaps. So let's just take this first one, because this one is criminal law, sentencing guidelines, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if you are going to cite this source in APA, we're going to click on it. Do not under any circumstances click this button. A lot of you did that, and it's partially my fault because I forgot to say it out loud. And we don't, Lake Sumter does not have any control over that, because this is a system for all the state colleges. What you want to do is actually look at the article. So we're going to click on one of the links. You could click on any of them. I just like EBSCOhost and the way they lay things out. So that's why I'm using theirs. I will have to put in my password. Oops, I can remember my password. Now what we're looking at is the article itself. And this is a PDF. So this is something that I can cite in APA and even have the correct page number. So I would have the author's name, I would have the date, and I would have the page number when I cite a quote or something that I have paraphrased from this source. That's what will go in my in-text citation. What do I need for my full citation that's going to go on the references page? Should be over here. Is that it? Yes. Okay. So it's this little page looking thing. So then I scroll down to APA 7th edition, and I would copy and paste this whole entire thing into my references page. And I would make sure that these italics stay italicized by, in fact, let me just show you. I'm going to copy this whole thing. And I have a Word document open. So let's put that on my references page. I'm just going to put it at the end to start with, but I would put it in alphabetical order down the road. So if you want to keep everything the way it is, you want to, you don't want to do match or source formatting keep source formatting, but you want to match formatting. What that's going to do is, notice it's automatically got the hanging indent that I had already set up, and this part is in italics, just like it's supposed to be. So in the PC world, it's called a little something else, but it's the same principle. I can't remember the wording for it, and I apologize, but I'm on a Mac and I I don't use PCs much anymore, so I have forgotten what it's called. Now, one thing that you will need to change on this, if you want to get all your points for having this correct, is you're going to need to fix this crazy capitalization. And I don't think Word will do it for you, but let's try. Where would it be? Let's do review. No. Yeah, I don't think it'll do it for you. Let's try. I don't see anywhere to do it. You want to use proper APA capitalization, which means not all caps. I'm not going to change it right now because I just don't want to. But that's where you would get the citation, not in that first little quotation mark. Make sure you go into an article. And we could have used a different one. Let me go back. Oh, it's not going to let me go back. Nope, it's not going to let me. Oh, maybe it's still open. There we go. There we go. Now let me go back. Okay, so let me just choose another article. Let's choose this one. And again, do not use this. Do not use this. I don't know. And this one's a different database owner, so that's kind of cool. In Gale databases, the citation is generally at the bottom of the page. There is a cite button up here as well, but if we scroll all the way down, there it is, we will find the source citation. Now, of course, we're using APA, so we would take this. The only problem with this one is, and this is something that I don't really hold against you, but I will tell you now, so you will know, in the databases, when you have an article, the only time that you are supposed to include this link is if it is a DOI. So when it says link.gale.com, this actually should be deleted. And you notice it didn't give us one on the EBSCOhost database either. There's no URL here. The reason we use DOIs is because those are real identifying, like it carries across things. But if there isn't one, we don't use a URL for them at all. In fact, if you look up at my others, there's no URLs except for when it is a website. So use the citations provided by the library, get the right one, dig all the way in, and if you forget how to do it, ask a librarian. Always a good idea. The other thing I want to show you while we're in the Word document is, and this was what I kept searching for last time and I couldn't find it. So I'm going to insert a photo. I'm going to put it in the middle because I want to show you another thing that you can do, which is kind of fun. Insert photo. And I'm going to pick something that I have on hand. Let's use this. Has nothing to do with anything here. So one of the cool things that you can do is you can wrap the text, and we're going to wrap it square. So if I want my picture, my visual in the middle of a paragraph, I can put it right in the middle of the paragraph and it will wrap everything around for me. Now, typically we don't want it on both sides. We want it just on one side. So if I put it over towards the margin, notice how it does it for me. Here's what I wanted to show you. So I have clicked on the picture. It has now got the little box around it. if I go to references and I go to insert caption, it already calls it figure 1, although I think I already have a figure 1, so I could actually manually change that. And then I would put my caption, you're late. Not a very good caption. If this was something I had to cite, I would have my in-text citation as well. So let's say that it was from, oh gosh, what was the source we just found? Let's say it was from Harbor and Johnson in 2006. Oops, I can't spell today. So that goes with one of my citations on my reference page. I can pick where to put it. I can put it above the selected item. I prefer them below, but that's okay. For formatting, I could change it from numbers to letters. There's all kinds of things that I can do with it. I'm just going to leave it the way that was with figure 1, and I'm going to click OK. And now it has done it for me. So this was what I kept scrambling around trying to find in the previous video, but here it is for real this time. And I will save this again and put this with this video in our midweek help. All right, that's it. Please, please, please contact me if you have questions about the upcoming documents. If you got confused on the last one, please listen to your feedback. I have given you feedback and your grades. So on the definition one. So hopefully that helps. I will still be gone until Monday. But I still have access to email and all that. So let me know if you have questions, and I will hopefully get you on the right track. Everybody, have a great week. Take care.